This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Thursday, March 19th, 2026, in the morning. Today, we analyze a wave of security breaches in the Model Context Protocol that has exposed over 7,000 servers. We track a critical hypervisor escape in QEMU involving the virtio-snd component and examine new evidence of discrete reasoning circuits within 24 billion parameter language models. Also in focus, the urgent timeline for Ethereum's post-quantum privacy migration, a breakthrough in Vivo CAR-T therapy from Azalea Therapeutics, and escalating kinetic threats to Iran's South Pars gas field. A series of systemic failures in the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, has compromised the security of AI-integrated development environments. Analysts have identified a timeline of tool, poisoning, and remote code execution vulnerabilities stemming from the MCP remote utility. This protocol is designed to let AI agents interact with local and remote tools, but architectural flaws allow for sandbox escapes. Specifically, researchers found that malicious tool definitions can be used to execute arbitrary commands on a host system when an agent attempts to call a poison function. A scan of the public internet revealed more than 7,000 MCP servers currently exposed, many of which lack basic authentication or transit encryption. This is an update to previous warnings about agentic tool use safety. The discovery highlights that as developers move toward autonomous agent workflows, the interface between the model and the operating system is becoming the primary attack surface. A critical zero-day vulnerability has been identified in QEMU, the widely used open-source emulator and virtualizer. The flaw exists in the virtio-snd device, which handles audio input and output for virtual machines. Technical analysis shows an uncontrolled heap overflow that allows a malicious actor to break out of a guest virtual machine and execute code on the host hypervisor. This is a high-impact discovery because QEMU is a foundational component for many cloud providers and isolated security environments. By sending specially crafted audio data packets, a guest user can trigger memory corruption that grants full control over the underlying server. Organizations running multi-tenant workloads are advised to disable virtio-snd support or apply the latest hardening patches immediately. This breach of the hardware-software boundary represents a significant setback for container and virtual machine isolation. New research into 24 billion parameter large language models suggests that transformers possess discrete, indivisible cognitive units. Using a technique called the RYS method, researchers replicated experiments on consumer-grade hardware, including the AMD RX 7900 XT. By duplicating exactly 3 specific layers within the model architecture, logical deduction scores jumped from 0.22 to 0.76 without any additional training or weight adjustments. This development is being framed as a signal from the future of model architecture. It suggests that reasoning is not a diffuse property of the entire neural network, but is instead localized within contiguous blocks of 3 to 4 layers. These reasoning circuits act as functional modules. When these specific blocks are duplicated, the model effectively runs its reasoning pipeline twice, leading to massive improvements in multi-step problem solving. This indicates that future model design may shift toward modular, circuit-based scaling rather than uniform layer expansion. Ethereum researchers, supported by feedback from Vitalik Buterin, have released a formal warning regarding post-quantum threats to network privacy. The core issue is the harvest now, decrypt later strategy. State actors are currently collecting encrypted transaction data with the intent to decrypt it once stable quantum computers become available. The report argues that privacy migration is far more time-sensitive than authentication migration. While a user can change their private keys to secure a wallet in the future, they cannot re-hide data that has already been broadcast to the blockchain. For long-lived confidentiality, the window for implementing quantum-resistant encryption is closing. This research serves as an under-the-radar development for the sovereign finance sector, signaling that Ethereum's roadmap must prioritize zero-knowledge proofs that are resistant to quantum cryptanalysis to prevent a total retrospective loss of user privacy. Azalea Therapeutics has published a milestone study in mice demonstrating the successful use of in vivo CAR-T therapy. Traditionally, CAR-T therapy requires a complex, expensive process where a patient's immune cells are removed, modified in a lab, and then reinserted. Azalea's approach uses precise gene editing to engineer these cells directly inside the living body. The mouse study showed that tumors could be cleared effectively without the need for external laboratory processing. This has the potential to drastically reduce the cost of cancer treatment and expand access to advanced biologics. By removing the logistical bottleneck of cell manufacturing, this in-body editing technique could move CAR-T from a rare, high-cost intervention to a standard clinical procedure. Community sentiment is focused on the rapid evolution of stealthy malware and the security of AI coding agents. We are tracking a new infostealer called Spiegel that hijacks the Cobra.guard security software. It specifically targets documents related to Chinese ballistic missiles, suggesting a highly targeted supply chain attack. Meanwhile, the Darksword exploit kit is making waves in the security community by chaining 6 different flaws in iOS to achieve full device compromise. This kit has been adopted by multiple threat actors for high-risk data exfiltration. In the world of emerging tools, Airlock version 0.2.0 has been released to address the risks of mounting SSH keys into Docker containers for AI agents. Instead of giving agents direct access to credentials, Airlock uses a host-side daemon to proxy specific commands, ensuring that an autonomous agent can only access the repos and servers it absolutely needs. Finally, the AI developer community is reacting to the news that OpenAI has acquired Astral, the company behind the Python tooling suite Rough. This move is seen as a strategic play to integrate high-performance developer tools directly into future versions of Codex and the ChatGPT coding environment. This concludes the synthetic signal report for Thursday morning.